Welcome, everybody, to this afternoon's fifth annual 29 Takes Production Cell Phone Challenge. We have a fascinating lineup that just covers all areas of filmmaking. And we also are introducing many first-time filmmakers, along with several very experienced, been here before and done that filmmakers as well. You're going to see a bit of everything, and to start us off, what we want to do is interview as many of the filmmakers, directors, actors as is possible. So if you'll just stay in your seats and enjoy an introduction to the films you'll be seeing shortly, we appreciate your attendance. Thank you. So welcome, Michael. It's always a delight to see you at these events, and congratulations on your submission.
Thanks. Hi, Darlene.
Now, your submission leans very heavily into documentary style. What had you go that direction?
Well, I love the 29 Take Cell Phone Challenge, and I was thinking, what can I make? What can I do? And then I was thinking, well, why don't I make a found footage film using the photos on my phone?
So these were all just based on photos in your phone that you then put together this documentary, really?
Yep.
That's amazing.
It's 6 years of photos that I looked for a theme, and there was travel, and there was food. Mm-hmm. And as an editor, then I decided to spice it up and make it dramatic.
Oh, great. Well, I actually recognize some of those photos because you were at an event with Arnold Lim when he was fundraising.
That's right.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
Yeah, so I actually recognize those. So given that that is what your submission is all about, is there a message? Are you trying to say something with it?
Well, it's called Live to Eat versus Eat to Live. And so I'm saying, let's enjoy life. Let's enjoy while we can.
Great message. All right, Michael, well, thank you very much for joining us. We look forward to seeing your submission shortly, and we hope to see you next year again.
Thanks.
Thanks, Michael.
Cheers.
Welcome, Sohee, and thank you for your submission to the 29 Take Cell Phone Challenge. You have become a very important part of our film community here in Victoria. So can you tell us a little bit about how you got involved with this film community?
On the film community. So after I graduated from film school and I came back, actually the COVID happened, so
Yeah.
my mom was very afraid that I would never come to the island from Vancouver. So I actually left Vancouver and moved everything to my parents' house, and then I started looking for a job. I was going into the union, but it was very hard.
Yeah.
So, and then that's when I was looking for a job, and then I had Arnold Lim, who was the
Yes.
most important person in film community here. He reached out to me.
I'd also like to talk to you a little bit about the 29 Takes Cell Phone Challenge that you submitted. Now, your piece is called A Fish Left Behind, and I thought it was a very interesting social commentary. I don't want to give too much away, but I thought it was interesting because betta fish, or Siamese fighting fish as they used to be called, are probably one of the most isolated fish in the tropical fish world.
Yes.
So what was it about them that had them be the topic or the center of your story?
So actually, surprisingly, thank you for the introduction of betta fishes, because I got to know them while I was actually making the film. So how I got to know that fish was when I was living alone in Vancouver. I wanted a pet, but I was busy, working and studying. So I wanted something that I could that doesn't need much attention, but still gives me that company. So, and it was I know about the betta fish is that they have to be alone, and they have to be in darkness, and and I don't have to much care about them. They can be not fed for a week. So I
Wow, they
Yes.
they really are an independent
yes,
fish.
very independent, and so it was very easy for me to take care of. So
Yeah.
that's how I got to know the betta fish. And then while I was thinking about the story specifically for the 29th take, I actually had 2 other stories that wasn't related with fish, and then I was looking at the fish at home, and then that kind of inspired me. Okay, let's talk about the fish, and what if it's because finding actors and it's hard. So I was thinking, okay, what if I become the fish and fish become me, and then I could tell the story of something.
Well, it was fascinating and very interesting social commentary, and I'm excited for people to be able to see your submission. So thank you again for submitting, and we hope you enjoy all the screenings.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Zoe. Welcome both to Andrew and to Lily. How are you?
We're doing great.
Are you having a fun day?
Lily, are you having a happy day?
Now, Andrew, Mama? Is your mama here?
Oh, her mom decided to join us, yeah.
Oh, good, okay. Now, Andrew, you've submitted to this previously, have you not?
Oh, yes.
Because we've talked about your last film, I think it was last year.
Yeah.
Now, what keeps you coming back to 29 Takes Productions Cell Phone Challenge?
I really like it. It's fun, and I get to share the feeling with my daughter, and she likes playing and acting in it, and so...
Are you going to be a big star? Are you going to be a movie star?
Maybe eventually, but right now she's a little star.
She's a... Now, tell us a little bit about Adventures with Lily. Did you set out with a plan in mind, or how did this go?
Well, a bunch of life events. I'm going to put her down
I
for
think
now. A
Look
bunch
who's
of
there.
life events happened.
Okay.
And so we just had to change from what we were actually doing, the original plan, and I decided to mess around with a piece that explored opposites of theme and kind of contrast. So hopefully it turns out well. It's a little detective piece about a little girl trying to find some ducks.
Okay. Now, how old is Lily?
Lily will be 2 in July.
She's not even 2 years old yet. So do you have any directing advice for directors brave enough to take on an under 2-year-old?
Set them up to succeed.
Okay.
Have a kind of like a little guided railroad for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great idea. Hi, Barry.
Hello, Darlene, and wow, this is amazing.
Is this-
I take my hat off to Brent here to get us all these directors from
Yes.
the island
All over
and
the island.
get the opportunity to actually show our movies, which is kind of a rare occasion on this island. But yes, nice to be here.
Now, Barry, you kind of have a specialty in the film world. Do you want to tell people a little bit about kind of where your passions lie in filmmaking?
Basically, my passion is visual effects
Yes.
and 3D and animation and stuff like that. However, there's not many people who actually get into this genre movie on the island, so I have to do my own script, which I'm an atrocious scriptwriter. And I do my little movies so that what you're about to see is going to be all 3D and green screen acting.
Now, so I'm very interested then, because you are one of the few people doing this kind of CGI, and you're talking about writing the script. What leads your storytelling? Do you have to, is it always in mind with the green screen, or can you tell a story that you want to tell and then cut the green screen after?
Well, my movie's actually been based on a name. So I've come up with some, like Click, for instance.
Right.
One day I woke up and said, Click, I'm going to make a movie about Click. But then from there, you have to say, okay, what can I do with Click in
Right.
terms of 3D,
Right.
in terms of how much I can do? And then I have to work backwards to the script, then try and fit the script in.
Right. And
Kind of a complicated exercise.
and you tend to lean more into science fiction. Would that
Yes,
be accurate?
I'm science fiction.
Science fiction all the way.
That's my genre. I'm going to be changing to fantasy for this year. For
Oh,
the next,
great.
Just to give it a try.
Wonderful.
The Dungeons and Dragon kind of thing. Yeah.
What is
Flying
the
dragons.
best sci-fi CGI film you have ever seen?
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay.
Quite simple.
Okay, there we go. All right. Well, I think we're all excited to see what you've done.
So am I.
So Barry Jesse Smith, ladies and gentlemen, and we will be seeing his film shortly. Thanks, Barry.
Thank you much, Darlene.
Welcome, Azalea. Is this your first film festival?
Yeah.
Well, welcome, and I'm looking forward to talking to you. And Austin,
Yep.
you're not really a newcomer, are you? You've been around the block a few times.
Yeah, I have. This is, I think, my third time going to the 5 Minute Film Festival.
Great.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, we're excited to see the film. Now, Azalea, you were the star of this film, am I correct? Good job. Great job, actually. Now, did you find your experience on set any different than what you thought it might be?
Yeah.
How was it different?
Well, I thought the rabbit was gonna be a little bit more scary, but then once I saw it, it wasn't that scary.
Well, do you think maybe that might have been because you got to know who really was the rabbit?
Yeah, probably.
Probably. Do you think any other little girl who just happened on the rabbit in the middle of a dark night might be scared? Probably, okay. So now you've caught a glimpse of behind the scenes on making a film like this. Do you think you'd like to do some more acting?
Definitely.
Definitely, all right. What was the most fun part of this?
Well, my favorite part was when I was stabbing the rabbit. It was funny.
When you were whatting the rabbit?
Stabbing.
Stabbing the rabbit. Who doesn't love a good rabbit stab? Yeah, that's great, Azalea. Well, I thoroughly enjoyed watching it, and I know everybody else is going to too. So remember when we watch it, this is our star here. And Austin,
Yep.
you were DP on this.
Yes, I was.
Now, have you, DP, Director of Photography, have you DP'd previously?
Oh, yes. Yeah, I've done it a few times now. Although this one probably was my favorite
Oh, is that right?
time. Yeah.
Why is that?
It went like surprisingly super smooth, and it seemed like this is one of the best work Brent's done when it comes to like set design and everything.
Yeah.
It just seemed like it really worked together.
So I know you as an actor.
Yep.
Have you established a preference for yourself? Which way would you like to go with a career?
Yeah, so I think I've established I want to do more behind the scenes work, not necessarily just DOP, but just the entire work of when it comes to writing, directing, camera, sound, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Although I think it was super important for me to do acting too, because it gives me some inside knowledge to what kind of goes on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, now that you have DP'd this and had to work with a number of actors, you said you learned a lot, but was there a really big takeaway for you as an actor now that you really appreciate what the DP has to deal with? So any big lessons or takeaways for you?
Oh, geez. It's like both acting and directing are just both completely different worlds, if that makes
Totally.
sense.
Yeah.
Like when it comes to acting, like, you got to make sure you remember your lines and deliver them how a real person would. When it comes to directing, you got to make sure everything's going to line up and fit when it comes to editing in the final product.
Yeah.
So,
Great.
yeah.
Well, you scared me a little bit because I wasn't there to see behind the scenes. So I'm looking forward to seeing it again. I know our audience is. So thank you both for participating along with Brent in the submission. And we hope to see more of you both in the future.
Yeah, it's my pleasure.
Okay, thanks,
Thank you.
Austin. Thanks, Azalea.
You're welcome.
So welcome, Tabitha and Tyler. And thank you very much for submitting to 29 Takes Production Cell Phone Challenge. Now, can you tell us a tiny bit, without giving away an ending or any critical elements, can you tell us a little bit about what Hi There is all about?
So Hi There is the story about a nice couple who are trying marijuana gummies for the first time.
Okay. Okay. So it could be HI there, or it could be HIGH there.
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha.
A homonym.
It is HI there, though, right?
It is, yeah.
Okay. So hi there. So this may be somewhat inappropriate, but does this come from personal experience?
It's actually a really good question.
Great question.
So we came up with this idea a couple of years ago when we were on the cusp of legalizing marijuana.
Right.
And I had put out my ribs when I was tubing, and my dear mother gave me a marijuana gummy.
Oh, God bless a good mom, eh?
Yeah.
And it was my first time experiencing it. And
Okay.
so we just had a good time. I felt a lot better. But during that experience, we had a friend come into the backyard, and we were trying really hard to act sober.
Act normal. Yeah, and the more you try and act
Yeah.
normal, the less normal you are.
A couple days after she came by, her husband checked in, and he was like, "Hey, we're just checking in because Andrew, I thought you guys were fighting or something."
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
And we thought, "Oh,
hilarious.
that's so funny." So we thought, what a good story that would be.
That's hilarious. Well, and what genre would you put this into?
Comedy. I would
Comedy.
hope.
Comedy. Okay.
Hopefully.
Well, you'll hear from the audience. Let's hope they laugh in all the right places, and I'm sure they will. So thank you again for the submission, and I look forward to seeing it. We've got a little bit of everything here happening at 29 Takes, and I'm delighted to hear about comedy, good comedy.
All right.
Great. So thank you, Tabitha and Tyler.
Thank you.
Welcome, both of you, and thank you very much for your submission called Punctured. Now, Justin, why don't you tell us a little bit about your daughter and how you brought her into this story?
Well, Victoria is playing two parts in the show. I don't want to give away too much because it's
Right.
supposed to leave you with a lot of questions.
Okay.
Because there's a longer version coming.
Oh, great.
So it's a thriller, sort of suspense thriller, and I hope it's received the way we intended it. I can't wait to see what people think of it,
Okay.
because the couple of people who've seen it had different takes on it, and it was really cool to see. You know, you go into this with an idea to create something a certain way, and the reception's always a little bit different. So
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what people think.
The audience reaction. Now, we noted as you were coming up here that Punctured is spelled a little bit differently, and you said that's by design. Without giving anything away, are you able to tell us why?
It's really just aesthetics. It's
Okay.
to do with the sort of branding of it, and there's a lot of hidden things that are in the longer version that will relate.
Ah, I see. And how did you feel, Victoria, taking not just the lead role, but a dual lead role in this film?
It was really interesting because, like, at first I felt like I was talking to nobody because you have to edit me into the scene where there's two of me.
Okay.
But it felt like I was talking to nobody, but when it came out, it was really cool.
So you were pretty happy, were you, when you watched the footage? And that's great. That's quite a demanding thing for any actor to play two roles in the same film. Did you, were you feeling like you were handling it okay? Did you need a lot of time, or how did you find that?
Like, I felt a little nervous at first because I'm just not used to talking to things that are not there.
To a mark on the wall.
To a mark on the wall,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, that's a major skill that I think a lot of actors still work on. So, so we're anxious to see how you did. I'm sure you did a great job. Your dad wouldn't show it to us otherwise, I'm sure.
Thank you.
Great. Well, it was wonderful to see you again, Justin, and congratulations, Victoria, on this big role. And we're going to be watching it all shortly. So, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Now, before we get going, and so that everybody can hear this, and we have it recorded for posterity, how do you correctly pronounce your first and last name?
Story of my life. Yeah, it's Tarak, and then the last name is actually said Kjartansson.
Kjartansson.
Yeah, but Kjartansson is fine because that's really
Kjartansson.
hard for the Western ear to wrap. It's, yeah.
Okay, wonderful. All right, well, welcome. And your name is Leif. What's your last name, Leif?
It's actually Leif.
Leif.
Leif, as in waif, but
Leif.
with an L in front of it.
Waif. Okay.
Yeah, Leif Langbaum.
Okay. How did you two find each other with names like that?
I think it was back in the day when we were both working for Airbud, right? Pop Academy and
Yeah,
St. Anne's, I think.
okay.
Yeah.
I was an on-set key PA, and he was one of the people on my team.
Wonderful. Okay, I was on one of those too.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so welcome and thank you for your submission to 29 Take Cell Phone Challenge. Tell us a little bit about your film.
Sure. The film concept comes from experiences in my own life and inspired by some true events of just the difficulties and situations you run into when you're sharing living space with any other person. It can be challenging no matter what the dynamic at times, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody has a good roommate story to tell.
Exactly, and that's why I thought that this would be really relatable to people, especially in cities where the cost of living is so high, like Victoria.
And where you pretty much can't exist, if you're single, you can't really exist without a roommate.
Exactly.
So whose concept was this? Who wrote it? So this was yours.
Mm-hmm.
And so in this, because I have not seen this one, are you in it?
I will be in the longer version as one of the characters that we're not going to unfortunately see today in the 5-minute version, but we do have an extended cut coming as well after the fact.
Kyle.
Yeah, as like kind of a douchey friend who's just like hanging out with the roommate who's nowhere to be found at the time. My character's name is Kyle, so I will appear in that one, but not today.
Not today, okay. And Leif, what was your role in the film?
Well, I guess I was the cinematographer.
Okay.
So I directed the lighting, photography, and I camera op.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Now, if some of these films come in, they have big messages. Some are just for fun. Is there a message or a takeaway you're hoping the audience walks out of here with?
Not specifically. The underlying message is just like, buckle up, kid. Life's not fair, So.
Great.
You have to learn to roll with the punches, and one of our characters is very much more to that side of the human personality versus like the main character who is a little bit more rigid, I guess you could say.
I think in the long version, there's more of a resolution.
Okay.
But I think we hit some really good comedic beats in the 5-minute version that we're doing
Great.
today.
Yeah. It's
Wonderful.
kind of an absurd comedy, so.
I mean, it's a little bit like 21st Century Odd Couple.
Okay,
Yeah.
got
That's
it.
fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Some of us older folks remember The Odd Couple when they were airing new episodes every night. Well, thank you both for your submission, and we're anxiously looking
Did
forward
Brent
to
tell
seeing
you, did he mention how quickly we had to do this as well?
Yeah, I mean, just to be fair, we were literally 11th houring this stuff. We filmed it in a week. Actually, we planned it, shot it, and edited it.
Like our principal photography day was last Sunday.
Yeah.
And then we wrapped on
intense.
Tuesday at about 5:30 p.m.
So
Okay.
it's not really sound mixed that great, and I didn't even get around to color grading it, unfortunately. So all of my fellow filmmakers are going to notice this when we watch it. Yes, I know it's not color graded,
Well,
But hopefully it will make you laugh.
but the long version will be finessed and polished
Yeah.
up.
Well, the great thing about this film festival is that we are going to see all range of films from absolute first-time filmmakers to much more experienced ones. So we're going to see a little bit of everything. So
Yeah.
we'll see how you stack up.
Should be really
All
fun.
right.
I'm looking forward to seeing the other films.
Yes, same
Yeah.
here. Okay, well, thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Welcome, Beth, and thank you for your submission to 29 Take Cell Phone Challenge. So yours is called Toilet Rage.
Sure is.
So can you tell us, without giving too much away, can you tell us a little bit about what brings on toilet rage?
Well, you've heard of road rage,
Totally.
and I'm pretty sure almost everybody has a toilet rage story.
Okay. Oh, I
I'm
get
just
it.
guessing.
I get it. Even within families, you can have toilet rage.
Perhaps, especially in families.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
So I am not the director, the producer, or the writer. I was an actress in the show. Our director, producer, writer, David Moore, decided that getting married in the Philippines was far more important than a 5-minute cell phone challenge. Sorry, Brent.
Damn him.
I think he's on his honeymoon because I asked for a little tidbit of information from him, got zip. So pretty sure he's on his own mission right now, and it's not about the film.
So obviously it's a comedy.
It is a comedy. Well, we hope.
And yes, well, I'm sure you'll find out soon. Now, so you can't really, I guess, talk about what inspired the film itself, but what inspired you to be part of it?
Well, David and I have worked on a few things, and so this was just another event that we were going to do, and we're actually looking at some things in the future. He's very good at writing and producing, and so I always have fun doing the films. This is certainly the toilet rage is, goes along with the theme of taking care of business, of course, and so that was very fitting. And we wanted to do something fun, especially after COVID. It was important to do something lighthearted and fun, so that's what we did. And everybody has their outhouse stories, and this is just another one of those.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for appearing in this film, and to David for submitting it. And I know you're a very familiar and welcome face on many film sets around town. So I'm anxious to see how this one goes,
Alrighty,
so
well,
to speak.
And thank you, Brent, for doing this. It's such a great opportunity for all the filmmakers and people that are aspiring to be filmmakers to be able to do this. So it helps them get on the next event.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thanks, Beth.
I'm well. How are you?
I'm great, and welcome to 29 Takes Cell Phone Challenge. Thank you. And you've had another really interesting submission, My Willow. Mm-hmm. Now, why don't you give everybody just a sense of what it's all about, because it's very different from the other films.
Yes, I wanted to do something dramatic, and I had this idea. It was inspired from actually location. I walk around Swan Lake a lot, and it's very beautiful, and I wanted to film something there. And then I thought of a scenario from when I used to work that hit me. I wanted to have something kind of angsty.
Yeah. Okay. So you this stars Athena. Is Athena
Yes.
here?
She's not. She's sick today.
Oh, that's too bad. Athena's lovely.
Yeah.
So most of your work does tend to lean into some kind of social commentary issues like dementia and things of that nature. Is that really where you see your work going in the future? Is that what really calls to you?
I realize I hate watching sad movies, and I just saw on the plane home the Banshee of Inisherin. I cried like a baby. Nobody told me it was not a comedy, and I hate watching sad movies.
Yeah.
And I finished the movie. I loved it.
Yeah.
It was so beautiful. And then I realized, shit, I write sad movies.
Yes.
I can't help it. It's
I have cried in Susan's movies, so just yes. So, but they're also very timely, topical areas that you delve into and show often a different perspective. So I think the work is really important. Have you got another one in the works?
I've written something. I'm not loving it. It's getting bigger, and I don't know where I'm going to go with it. And then I do have a period piece that I'm working on as well, set on an airplane in the 60s.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
that sounds kind of exciting. Great. Okay. Well, we're all looking forward to seeing Susan Coe's My Willow, and thank you very much again for submitting.
Thank you.
Okay.
And thank you to Brent.
And I'd like to start off by welcoming Lorne and Stephanie to 29 Takes Cell Phone Challenge. Thank you for submitting.
Thank you.
Why don't you tell us the title of your film first?
Okay, it is Birds, Trees, Rocks, and it's a little bit of a sci-fi adventure. I won't give too much away.
No.
And we're repeat offenders. We were here last year, and we did another little sci-fi thing.
I remember it. I think, did we speak last year too?
We did.
Yeah, we did. Sorry, I'm getting old. My memory's not.
That's
fantastic.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good. So I also don't want to give too much away because I have seen it, and it looked like you guys had way too much fun making it.
Well, I mean, that's kind of the thing, you know. None of us are doing this for the fame and glory and money and stuff. We do it it's really almost a social event, right?
Exactly.
So it ends up being a thing where we'll film for a few hours and do some stuff and then have something to eat.
Great.
Seems to be a natural way of doing it.
I don't think this will give too much away, but who's your CGI person?
That's me.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, tonight we've got or this afternoon we have a little bit of CGI going on in a couple films. So
Both
well
from
done.
Nanaimo too.
And from Nanaimo.
What's it about Nanaimo? CGI.
CGI. I don't know. Maybe that's the new headquarters for CGI in Burns. Now, again, I mentioned how much fun it looked like you were having when you made it. Was there any underlying message you were trying to convey or anything that we should be
Well,
watching
yeah,
out
yeah,
for?
there's levels of depth to it, and it would take a long time to explain it, so, you know, I don't want to belabor the...
But we should be
belabor it.
watching that maybe there is something a little more
Well,
to this than
read a
just
lot more
fun.
into it than what you see.
Okay.
That's what I suggest for people to do. So.
And are you going to play again next year?
Oh, I think so.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I think all things being equal, yeah.
Well, we love repeat offenders, don't we, Brent? Yeah, we love repeat. And you've always had some great roles in these films.
I do, yeah.
You know, as we're standing here talking, I'm remembering last year's, and I'm remembering what a standout performance you gave. So this year, it was a natural for you to fit into this one again. And so, what was your experience like?
Oh, it's fun. It's always fun working with Lauren. He gets good people, and the stories are fun to work with. And yeah, I just super enjoy myself.
Oh, great. Wonderful. Well, we're all looking forward to seeing it. The more comedy, the better. We have such a mix tonight, but to temper some of the horrors of other films, we're thrilled to have some comedy. So thank you for your submission.
Good.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
So Sydney McClintock, hi. It is a pleasure to meet you face to face.
Yeah.
And I want to thank you for your submission to the 29 Takes Productions Cell Phone Film Challenge. And for those who have not yet seen it, and maybe looking at this on YouTube for the first time, what can they expect to see? What is your submission all about?
It's a little spin on the classic Hallmark love interest movies. We all of the people on my team have done background on these shows a lot, so we wanted to do our own little version of it.
Well, as an actor on some Hallmark films, I can tell you, you hit all the right points. I mean, immediately, it was pretty soon into it when I thought, oh my God, this is hilarious. This is bang on for a Hallmark kind of satirical approach.
Yeah.
So is that where the inspiration came from then, that you had been a background performer and decided you'd have some fun with it?
Yeah, we were brainstorming what we could do with the prompt, and we were just like, wait, why don't we do what we know best? And that's Hallmark. So yeah, we wanted to just make it a little funnier, you know?
Which well done. Now, and then how did you? Was this a group of your friends that put this together? Because you had some really strong talent in yours as well.
Yeah, we know each other. We actually, two of us are in one agency and two of us in the other, but we all met each other doing background. But yeah, we're a strong group. We worked really well together and kind of brainstormed to put it together.
Great. Now, did you encounter any hurdles along the way, like any point at which you thought almost, I don't know if we're going to be able to do this, or?
Yeah, before we started filming, getting all of us together at one time, we've all been so busy, we're all in different plays. And then once we started filming the outdoor scenes, the wind was so strong. It was hard to get the audio to, sound good, but I think we managed to do all right with it.
Yeah, that is what I think. Wind is actually harder to deal with than rain.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. Now, have you done any kind of challenges like this before, or short films or anything else?
Yeah, I did one last year. Also couldn't be at the premiere because I was working on a different show at that time. But yeah, I did that one and I've acted in a couple short films. So yeah.
Wonderful. Now, and how about plans for any others coming up?
I hope so. Yeah. This group, we work so well together, Gemma, Jordan, Darian, and I, that we want to start doing more just skits and stuff like on YouTube. So hopefully we can do some of that in the future.
Wonderful. Now, if you had any advice for people who might be considering submitting perhaps next year, what would you tell them?
Ooh, good one. I would say make sure you've got a strong group that works together and that it's good to have constructive criticism, because your first round of writing or whatever is usually not the strongest. So never be afraid to take criticism from your team and to make it a better film in the end.
Great advice. All right, Sydney, I won't take up any more of your Saturday, but I want to thank you for the submission. It was one of my favorites. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but it was one of my favorites. And we hope you submit again next year. So congratulations on the work. It was a joy to watch.
Thank you so much.
Right. Well, it's wonderful to welcome you, Chuck, to the 29 Takes Productions, to their 5th annual cell phone challenge. So thank you for submitting.
Oh, thank you. It was fun.
Now, a lot of people are going to watch the director's interviews before they watch the film. So what can you tell people about what to expect with your submission, which is called Watch?
Uh, well, it's my first attempt at making an action short film.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like fast paced and someone trying to get revenge, and there's a little bit of action to it and some dramatic piece at the end.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Great. Okay. Now, was there a particular inspiration for you to do this, or where did the story idea evolve from?
Not really. There's no inspiration. It's just once we got the phrase, taking care of business, I just began thinking in my head what to make, and I've always wanted to try something to do with action, just to see if I can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so
Well, you're a fairly busy filmmaker, though, are you not? I mean, you and I, this is the first time we've met face to face,
yeah.
but I see your name and your projects all over social media. So
Yeah.
you're not like a newcomer to this. You've done quite a bit of this before.
Yeah. I've been doing quite a bit. Yeah, it's been a long journey so far. Yeah,
Okay.
going well.
Now, did you have any particular experiences while you were filming, good or bad?
No, it was all good. I worked with really talented people, and we all added our own artistry into the project, which was fun to see. Yeah, so everyone did their part very well. It was a two-man crew job. It's just me and one other man, Richard Murphy, who was also in the movie as well. So he did the sound for me, and
That's great.
yeah.
Well, it's
So
kind of fun to, those of us who are used to working with ever increasing size of crews, it's
yeah.
kind of nice to strip it back down, isn't it? And get to just
Yes.
basics.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah, I tried to make the shoot as easy as possible. Had a little bit of shot list, on paper, and I had the rest of it in my head, and just wanted to see how things would go on the day. And
Wonderful.
yeah, and it was such a beautiful day to film. So it was, because now you're using the camera, and there are no filters and all that stuff. So it was a nice day to shoot.
Great.
Yeah.
Good. Do you have any advice for anybody thinking of entering next year?
Um, I don't know. The only advice I would say, I mean, it's nerve-wracking to make a movie, any movie. And when you have all these limitations, like, this phrase has to be there, it has to be 5 minutes, you have to use your cell phone, no huge cameras in there. It can be
Right.
nerve-wracking sometimes. You just don't know how it's going to turn out. But
Yeah.
my advice is just get it done. Because I mean, that's the only way we can learn how to make movies, is by starting with short films like this, 1 minute films, 5 minute films, and then you just keep improving your craft. So just get in there, and it's always fun. So have fun. Like I always tell people, if you have fun making a movie, whether you're acting or you're behind the camera, it will translate in the overall project. And when people
Yes.
are watching your piece, they will have fun watching you. So
Absolutely.
yeah, so
Yeah,
that's
I
usually
couldn't
my
agree
big
more.
advice.
And can we close with any projects that you might have on the go now or recently wrapped up that we can keep an eye open for?
Well, I just Lights is Telus funded short film I made.
Right.
It's already was already on Telus TV on demand.
Oh, great.
And
What's it called?
Lights.
Lights. Okay.
Yes.
So it's on Telus on
Um,
demand right now.
that's right. And on your Story Hive YouTube channel.
Yeah. Okay, great.
And yeah, and the Comox Valley Film Festival will be showing it as well here in Comox Valley.
Yeah.
So if anyone's in the area and they want to come check it out, that should be in May. They're welcome to look at it. And yeah, I'm trying to see how I can hopefully produce a feature film this year, self-funded. We're doing some crowdfunding in the next month or two, and we'll see if we can get that done this year.
Well,
Yeah, we'll see how it
congratulations
goes.
and good luck with that next project.
Thank you.
Thank you again for submitting. Your film was very well received at the live screening. So
That's good. I'm sorry I couldn't make it.
that's okay. That's
Yeah.
okay. We had a good time. So
That's good.
I think now that it's wrapped for this year, Brent's going to make it available to everybody online. So
That's good.
so it was
good.
nice to finally meet you. I hope to meet you face to face one of these days.
Likewise. Yes,
Okay.
likewise. All
Thank
right.
you, Chuck.
Thanks a lot. Take
Okay.
care.
Talk to you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.